So I wanted to make a video on the gameplay and things I do, kind of best practice, things that, there's a few of them that I think are kind of important that I do that I really like. And then a couple of them are pretty whatever, I could care less. But I just want to share a few things. Maybe it'll help you play the game, or maybe it's something you might want to do. The number one thing that is not part of the game, and it's definitely not a house rule. Well, I guess it is kind of a house rule, is I'm pretty strong. I feel really strong about this modification that I've done. So it specifically has to do with the watchtowers. What I do is during the opening phase. So I've also created this. You can download this on BGG. It's just a little player aid that I made. That's a little bit more detailed. As awesome as this player aid is, I think it's missing a couple things that I just, for example, during the opening phase, the first thing you pretty much should do is gain experience points, via watchtowers and skills. This is something that's in the rule book. It's something that you do, but in the opening phase here, it doesn't mention it, so it's easily forgotten, and it kind of irks me when I forget to do stuff, or I don't know if I forgot to do it. Anyway, so part of the opening phase, when you have a watchtower, you get an experience point, but specifically what I'm talking about is you get to look at these tiles. You get to peek at any adjacent tile. This is a very, very, very powerful thing in the game, to see what's underneath these, what hordes are available. And it's one of the, I guess one of the main reasons to get a watchtower. Anyway, I like the experience point too. But anyway, I don't like memorization in games. I literally hate them. I don't even know if I despise memorizing anything. I think it's just so annoying that I'd have to memorize something. It's just not part of anything I want to be a part of. I just don't like it. So what I do is it's very simple. Only, and I did this specifically, but only in the opening phase, in the beginning of the opening phase, if you have a watchtower, instead of looking at the actual hordes, you reveal them. And that's all you do. You reveal them, and they stay open. They stay revealed. They don't flip back. So the rules say look at the hordes and then flip them back. What I do is I literally just flip them over. This also goes for any watchtower in the game, but also goes for the ongoing power that the mountain pass has. So if I was starting this game, I would flip over all these opening phase. Just say memorization's gone. You earned what you should know, and this is like known information, and that's how. Now you might say to yourself, well, that's kind of confusing because, how do I know it's not a horde? Well, you know, because there's no zombie on it, obviously, right? So you might see something like this, even though that wouldn't apply, just because that's an instant overrun. But you may see something like this after the beginning opening phase, and then you reveal the horde. So these are active. Anything with a zombie on it is an active horde, and these ones that you see are just information that you should have known. Also, let's say this wasn't a mountain pass, but let's say this was a watchtower, and all four of these are revealed, and then the watchtower got destroyed by something that was overrun. That's fine. You wouldn't ongoing, I don't know if I'm making it more confusing than it needs to be, but that's basically, I love this. I would not play without it. The first 2 games I played, I'm like, yeah, I'm not flipping these things over back and forth. I don't like that at all. So, all right. Next thing I do is I use a D. You can use anything, but I use a die. And what I do is I keep track of what movement I have left. So, for example, if the diplomat has 2 movement, and the diplomat is, let's say, on a settlement, and they can request a settlement action, she might move once, and then I instantly don't know if I'm gonna, let's say, fight or request. I would take a die, and just put a 1 on it, and then I put it literally right on it, covering it. So now I know I don't have to think. I can sit back. Because this game, a lot of times you're sitting back thinking. So you made a move, you think. So I did the settlement action. Let's say I get the ammo, and then I'm still thinking, and let's say on top of that I got, I did the other action. I rolled a die, So I did the left one, that's my second one, and I got something. So now I'm done with the 2 settlement actions, and I still have, I know I have 1 left. And that helps too when you move and then attack and then move and attack. So I do that. I like using that to remember how much movement I have left on characters. So that's something that I do. Another thing I do is on Doom cards. I don't know if this one will apply. What does that actually say? Survivors roll 1 die. Yeah, so this one wouldn't apply. But some Doom cards will have something like can't use barricade tokens this round. So this doesn't apply, but what I would do is I would take this barricade token and I would take like a contamination token and I'd put it right here. Or you can't buy, let's say you can't buy this, or you can't buy, or you can't use tokens. Anyway, I'll use these contamination tokens just to kind of remind me, because sometimes you'll have these cards and you're doing so much in the game, you kind of forget, what's actually an active Doom card. So I try to use the contamination tokens. Sometimes contamination token will say, I don't even know if this is a real thing, but let's say you can't buy skills. I'll put something like that on the skill cards or the deck just to remind me that if I go back in, I'm like, oh, no, something's up, and then I'll remind myself. So that's another thing that I do that's pretty, Another one that I do is when I'm choosing my hordes. I don't even know if this is in the rule book. It might be. I'm not sure. But when I'm choosing my hordes of which ones to play, and I activate. Let's say I blind picked this one, and this one came in. I wouldn't do this. I don't do that. I would just lay it down. I just lay them down. Okay. I don't really know if that matters, but I do that. So I'll do something like this, and I'll look around. I'll go like this. And then I'll go like this, and then I'm like, all right, there's my 4. I'm good. And then I stand them up. I honestly don't know if that even helps, but that's something I've done, and I'm used to it. I've played the game, over 10 times. That's just another thing I jotted down that I do like. Tracking phases is another one. So I have this printout. Like I said, you can get that on BGG, and I use a token, but in this case, I use one of the helpless tokens, and I track the phase. So I'll put this in knowing that I'm on phase 1. I'll do my phase 1 action, and then when I'm here, I'll be doing, so I know I'm in my phase 2 action, and I'll do phase 3. And last but not least, I use the green die to show any rolls that I've done that's like extra rolls, ones that weren't part of the game. So I've seen that, and I've used it in a different video, but that shows like if I added something for the barracks. But that's all I got. Thanks for watching.